All right, you guys, so we on the part two. We on the part two of the video, because I think that the part one of this video was way too long to put in as one video. Let's talk about the runoff, the Senate runoffs here in Georgia. So I've been talking to you guys about this since the election. So you guys are very well aware of the fact that we had 2 Senate seats that were available for runoff, because in the general election, nobody won by a big enough margin to just say that they was flat out the winner. Okay, we had David Perdue, who was the Republican. He was the incumbent. He was already the senator here. He was running against Jon Ossoff, which was a 33-year-old documentary filmmaker, Jewish kid, you know, completely different than what David Perdue, which was this millionaire. You know, he came from the private sector. He turned around, I think Dollar General, they said, in another company. He has all this money and all of this. So we had David Perdue, who's just kind of like the good old boys from that era. And then we've got this new school kid, Jon Ossoff, like I said, 33 years old, young, Jewish. Okay. Then we had billionaire Kelly Loeffler, who is married to the man who owns the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, like billionaire, super rich, owner of one of the co-owners of the Atlanta Dream, the women's basketball team out here in Atlanta, Georgia. She was running against, and she was also the incumbent. She was placed there by YSAP. Okay, so she had never run for office. She was put into that position, and she was running against Raphael Warnock, who is the current pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church here in Atlanta, Georgia, which is the home of John Lewis went there, Martin Luther King went there. You know, the church is right down the street from Martin Luther King's childhood home. It's right across the street from the Martin Luther King Museum, and you know, where he is buried, where his tomb, you know, where his casket, his tomb, what was it called? You know what I'm talking about? It's there encased in the tomb. The Baptist church pastor, she was running against Raphael Warnock. I've been telling you guys for weeks that it's been a very contentious race, that the Republicans had sought to vilify and really make Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock seem to be these socialist radicals that were going to just let America just run rampant. I mean, you know, it's going to be illegals all over the place, and, you know, that they were going to get rid of this and do this and that. I mean, that it was just, let them tell it. It was all downhill if them two made it into office. They had gotten so down and dirty with Warnock, especially, was talking about the fact that he was supportive of, you know, was running a commercial where he was quoting what the pastor that Barack Obama used to go to, that church, where he had said, "Goddamn America." Well, they had a speech or a sermon that Warnock had given where he had said that. They kept on playing that over and over and saying that he was supportive of that pastor. They even had his wife, I guess him and his wife had some domestic problems years ago. They have resolved their problems. They're still together, but they had video of her talking to the news about him running over her foot or something. I mean, they had all kind of horrible, bad commercials that made Ossoff and Warnock look bad. I'm not saying that the Democrats didn't also try to make the Republicans look bad, but anybody that's here that were seeing those commercials, you knew that the Republicans was hitting way below the belt, and just took it really personally. And you know, when you do things like that, it can either work or it doesn't work. And when you are here in Atlanta, Georgia, okay, and you've already know that the shift has happened here, where we've got more black people that live in Atlanta, more educated people that here, you know, that are here. That means that more people are getting out to vote and things like that. then you try and make a black pastor of a Baptist church look bad, and you know that there's a huge there's a huge presence of black people that live here. Like, that probably wasn't the best approach. That probably wasn't the best approach. Okay, you're not going to attack my church. No, you're not going to do that. So, from the election on, it's been this huge push. Even before the election, but really since the election, I can't even tell you. I actually did read that the RNC and the DNC alike, they both spent over $500 million, over $500 million, on advertising, on campaigning, just trying to push their people so that they would win this election. But yeah, the push was on. I mean, text messages and phone calls and on the ground, door to door, coming to speak to everybody. And, they had all of this community outreach, and they were giving away things. I mean, they were asking people to come out, and they were giving away food, and it was so much happening in the city over these, over the last 2 months as we came up to the runoff day, that, yeah, the push was amazing. The push was amazing to get these people out to vote, and to vote for the Democratic candidates. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Stacey Abrams, but everybody knows that Stacey Abrams was a huge part of the reason why Georgia was able to turn blue. People think that she just kind of started this when she lost the election, or the election was stolen from her as governor when she ran in 2018 against now Governor Brian Kemp. But actually, she's been at this, they say, for about 10 years. They say that she had an organization that she had started. It was called the New Georgia Project. And in this, in that project that she had, she just wanted to bring more awareness to black voters and get them educated about getting out and voting, and just really gathering people to support the same cause that she has. And then when she did lose that election in 2018, then she changed it to call it Fair Fight. And she really did strategize with different foundations and different organizations, and just people just trying to make sure that if it didn't happen right away, that we were constantly moving towards turning this state blue. Okay, so I think there's a quote of her going around that says something along the lines that, you don't always win, okay, but even when you have progress, when you are moving forward, okay, that is still a good thing. That's still a gain. And so this is something that's not for the lighthearted. You have to be in for the fight. You have to be in for the long haul. This is not a sprint. This is a fucking marathon. And Stacey Abrams, when she lost that race, I'm sure she was mad about it. Okay. But this is like a perfect example when you see somebody that takes something that just really pisses them off, and it mobilizes them. It makes them get out and really, really focus on making some changes here. And that's exactly what Stacey Abrams did. And she did work with other people. We can't lessen the work that other people did, but she was the leader of that cause, so we'll give her that. But there were men and women all over that were making sure that it happened. And I had told you guys in the last election for 2016 that they had expected Georgia to be turning blue soon. I didn't know if it was going to happen in this election, but it did. After everybody had been voted early, and then the election day on January 5th happened. As that night went on, we saw that Perdue and Loeffler were ahead, but they were still waiting on a lot of votes, a lot of numbers to come in from predominantly black areas throughout Georgia that leaned Democratic. Okay, and it was very much the same situation that happened with Biden and, running against Weissap in the same situation. the Republicans voted in person and the Democrats sent in absentee votes. So once we started counting up all of them absentee votes, then yes, both Warnock and Ossoff won. Actually, Warnock had won. They had declared him the winner, you know, very early, January 6th in the morning, like midnight. By midnight, we knew that he had won. They had pretty much said that he had won. But they were still waiting on, you know, doing the counts for Ossoff because he didn't have enough lead for David Perdue to actually declare him the winner. But at some point yesterday, Ossoff did win. That was overshadowed, of course, by the insurrection that was happening at the Capitol. But they did finally declare him the winner too. And what that means now is those two senators, which are Democrats, will fill the 2 empty seats at the Senate, and they will be 50-50 on the, you know, on the power in the Senate. But then Kamala Harris, being the Democrat, she is the tiebreaker, which will shift the power from the Republicans and Mitch McConnell on over to the Democrats and Chuck Schumer. Okay, so Chuck Schumer will become the majority leader. Mitch McConnell will become the minority leader. And, you know, this was all that they were fighting for because with Joe Biden going in as the new president, he was going to have an awfully large fight if he had to be trying to stroke the egos and apologize and, you know, trying to meet in the middle with the Republicans when there's such bad blood between the two parties right now. Okay, so they were hoping that they could get control of the Senate because then the House and the Senate is run by the Democrats, and, you know, you have a Democratic president, which means it kind of green lights their, you know, their agenda and the things that they want to do. But you have to remember that just because they have the majority you still have to think about those Democrats that are sort of leaning a little bit Republican or leaning a little bit towards the other side. They still will have a fight, but it would have been way bigger if the Republicans continue to have the power in the Senate. Okay, so now that that part is taken care of, we can see. Actually, we can hold Biden to this. Now, you said, get me elected, get me Senate, and I can do some shit. Okay, that's what you said. All right, I might be paraphrasing, but that's what you said. So now that you got all of this, okay, in these next 4 years, I would really want to see the Democrats take TCB, and I want to see some shit happening. Okay, and first things first is $2,000 stimulus check that they say that they're gonna put through. But I don't even really give a fuck about that $2,000 stimulus. I mean, yes, I would love to have it, but my thing is what's gonna happen with these student loans, because I have a huge student loan debt. And of course my kids have some student loan, nothing big, but you know, it's just like, I'm going to be more concerned about the fact that we can get rid of these fucking student loans. If you can do something for me for that, child, I will be forever grateful. So yeah, my eye is on them now because I've been on here and I've been telling you guys to vote for Biden and all this. And I expect you to now do the shit that you said that you was gonna do when we was campaigning and running around and trying to say everybody vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, right? Okay, so yeah, that's what we trying to look at now. In these next couple of years, I expect some shit to have happened, and you should too. Okay, because Georgia has made it a whole lot easier now for some things to happen. Everything is not going to happen, and I understand that, but we need to see some fucking changes, and it needs to help this middle class that they're trying to stamp out. Okay, YSAP just about put the middle class under, honey. It was going to be either the haves and the have-nots and nothing in between. So, Joe Biden, I'm just really waiting to see what y'all going to do for us. Okay, we waiting. But it is a good feeling to be here in Georgia and to just know that the black people here, because when it comes down to it, that's what it is, you guys. The black people here is the ones that made it happen. All right. Men and women. I won't just give it to women, even though women been working hard. But I will say men and women, black people, we done got our asses out there and voted. And they made it happen. But they was, child, let me tell you, they was campaign. John Ossoff had a whole bunch of white folks in my neighborhood on January 5th, and they was out here giving out rides to the polling places, everything. Like, and these are like white people that you know do not live in College Park, okay? But they were out and they were going door to door, but they had been out. I had a few people come to my house, you know, asking if we had voted already, who we were voting for, you know, things like that. So these people been on the ground. And those kind of things work. They work. That's grassroots. That's like back to the basics, you know. And then, of course, also taking advantage of social media and like I said, text messages. And man, I can't tell you how many fucking text messages I done got every fucking day about that election. At the very least, about 15 a day. I was like, fuck, Warnock and Ossoff like my men. Shit, you niggas about to worry me to death. I done already voted, and I voted for them, okay? But, yeah, it is a good feeling, because when I first moved here to Georgia, you guys, let me tell you, I moved here in 2004, and the motherfuckers were still driving around with Confederate flags, like, for real, on their cars, like, on their trucks, like how you can buy the little flags for your football teams and put it on the windows. I mean, I used to see Confederate flags like that, bumper stickers. Okay, the thing for them to say was like, it's not racist, it's history, it's my history. And when we first moved here, I was like, where the fuck did this man didn't move me to where they just think that it's okay to have a Confederate flag just willy-nilly like this, you know? And that was just, what was that, 15 years ago, 16 years ago. But we've come a long way, you guys. Now, I still will tell you that is the Atlanta area and the surrounding areas. You get to going outside of them areas, then them people still very much red. All right. But it's just the fact that everybody in Atlanta and the surrounding areas, you know, got out to vote and made the difference. So I will say this to my black people out there, you know, when you keep hearing that your vote doesn't count, okay, that it doesn't matter if you vote, like these are the times, especially in this election, the general election, and then of course this runoff election. But if this didn't let you know for a fact that your vote does count, then people want you to vote. Okay, or if you're the opposition, they don't want you to vote, but your vote definitely counts, and it makes differences. It swings the state in this case. Now, what needs to happen now is once you done got everybody that ain't voted out to vote, now, like I told you, they want the shit that they got out there that you said that you was gonna do. Now they want that to happen. So that's why I say that Biden and Harris, like, they really need to make good on the promises and the things that they said. I know it's politics and I know it's not everything you said, but you know what, in this case, you know, the fact that it was really riding on some bullshit coming off of WhatsApp, you know, I'm gonna need you guys to, I'm gonna need you to make some things happen. Yeah, you guys, we did it out here. We did it out here in Georgia. We is blue. Shout out to Stacey Abrams, like I said, who is probably the most powerful black woman in the country right now. She doesn't hold office. Who doesn't hold office? Okay. She can really write her own ticket right now. I know she's going to run for governor in 2 years, and I know she will win. Okay. Because if she got all these people behind her like she did with this, you know, I believe that she will pull it. You know, it will happen for her this time. I'm wondering if she's going to be on Biden's administration. She has such a bright future. I mean, so many things can happen for her. And did you guys know that she is a romance novelist as well? She has a, oh God, my book club, what was the name? I'll put it on the screen, but she has a pen name that she writes under, and she has like 10 romance novels that she has out. You guys, I had no fucking idea. Okay. But, yeah, I just really admire her. Yeah, y'all let me know, especially if you was out here in Georgia, You know, were you happy with the results of the election? I mean, I guess not everybody was, but I know I was, you guys. And if only just to kind of look at some of my co-workers and others that I know for a fact were Republican and just kind of smirk at them like, aha. Congratulations to Warnock and Ossoff, though. Let's get some work done, you guys. All right, you guys, let's switch gears here. So, you guys remember JacobBlake. I'm sad to actually say that I couldn't remember who JacobBlake was. There's been so many police shootings and, you know, killings that have happened in 2020 that I couldn't even, you know, I knew the name, but I couldn't remember the story, the situation. But I was quickly reminded when they said that he was shot and has survived. And I was like, okay, only 1 or 2 survived these shootings. In his case, JacobBlake was a young man that was, I believe, driving down the street. There were some women that were fighting. He had gotten out to try to break up the fight. I'm not sure if he knew the women or not. We never kind of got clarification on why he ended up being in the middle of that fight. But he was trying to break the women up, and then somebody called the police. The police came out there. Of course, it's all this commotion. Nobody really knows who is the bad guy, who's the good guy, you know, if he's trying to help or if he's beating these women up or what. But when the police got there, he was entangled with the women. He got up and the police was trying to get him to stop, and he walked around to his car. He was getting in his car, and the police shot him at close range 7 times as he leaned into his car, and one of the bullets, you know, severed his spine, and now he is paralyzed from the waist down. And remember, we were very upset about this fact because he didn't have a weapon. I believe they said that the police thought that he had a knife in his car that was down on the floor. And that was the reason why they shot him. That and the fact that there were 3 of his kids in the back seat, young kids, and they felt that he was kidnapping the children. So they shot him 7 times, definitely with the intent of killing him, but he did not die. Okay, but like I said, he is paralyzed from the waist down. Well, the police officer who did shoot him, and this was in Kenosha, the police officer who did shoot him, they have now found that there will be no charges brought upon him because they felt like he was, you know, within the scope of doing his job. Okay, and that job being to kill or, you know, seriously maim black men out on the streets on the daily. Which is just really a travesty. Like, why is it that nothing happened to this police officer when, you know, he had his back to him? He wasn't even he hadn't done anything. He was reaching to get into his car. And they said that they felt like he was reaching for a weapon. But there's nothing that happens. I think what frustrates black people the most is that if that had been a white situation, first of all, they probably wouldn't even have shot that person 7 times. Okay. But if they did happen to shoot him 7 times, then I think that there would be some ramifications for that when it came to the police. But when it comes to to black people, it's just like nothing happens. Like, you just go and kill him and just say, well, I thought he had a gun, or I thought he was going to, you know, and that's the part where black people just get so frustrated. It's just like there's these double rules. There's these double rules, just like I'm talking about the opposition, the shit that went down at the Capitol yesterday. You know, and if black people would have been, if that would have been black people, they'd have had a fucking massacre up there. They'd have shot and killed every damn body that tried to even get their ass past them stairs. Okay? But you done gave carte blanche to these white folks to just walk in there and basically not stop them at all. You know, these are the double meanings, or the things that frustrate black people, because it's very clear that America has one rule for that side and another rule for the other side. And if you didn't see that shit yesterday with all that shit that happened at the Capitol, then I know something. Okay, you was really not trying to see it. Okay, that was white privilege at its finest. At its finest. If you didn't understand what white privilege is, then that should have made it very clear for you. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting off. I'm getting off because I was like, I don't even think I remember telling you guys all of this, but yeah, you guys, it's just it's unfortunate that that kid has been paralyzed and nothing happens to nobody for it. It's just sort of like he's paralyzed for absolutely no reason. You know, I don't know if he has like the big time with not Ben Carson. What's the lawyer's name that represents everybody? I'm not sure if he is involved with this case, but we'll see if they continue to try to press forward something. But I think once the Department of Justice say we ain't pressing charges, then I think that's really just it. But we'll see what happens there. But in the meantime, Jacob Blake, you know, I'm just hoping that he has some quality of life, and you know, with him being paralyzed and wheelchair bound for the rest of his life. He was a young kid and he was from a family of activists and everything, and it's just unfortunate. This whole story is very, very sad, you guys. But yeah, that's the update on Jacob Blake's case. All right, you guys, so I feel like I've been out here so damn long. All right, you guys, so let's talk about the stimulus a little bit. So remember I was telling you guys last week that they had, you know, they had signed in this $900 billion bill for stimulus, you know, relief for the stimulus, right? The stimulus package. So now I was asking you guys last week, had you guys started getting your $600? And a lot of you guys actually told me that you did. So, and I'm assuming probably way more of you have since that video. Remember, I was telling you guys that you got the $600, and then if they did push through this $2,000, you know, check, then you would get the balance. You would get $1,400 as well. Well, Biden has said that he's prepared to make the $2,000 happen. So I think everybody is now going to be waiting on their $2,000 damn dollars. Of course, it can't happen immediately. He has to get sworn in, you know, at the inauguration. Chuck Schumer has to become the majority leader and be in place. And, you know, everybody has to be in place first before we start saying that they're going to send out an additional $1,400. But supposedly it is on its way, you guys. We'll see though, because they kind of now starting to sound like, well, we got to do this, that, and the other first. And then, so, you know, I was just like, you better not, y'all better come on with these 2000s. Okay. I read something about if people don't get their stimulus check or their stimulus relief by a certain day, then they might actually have a rebate that you can sign up for with your taxes, and then it would come. I don't know how true that is. I don't even remember where I read it, but I read it somewhere where they were talking about a rebate, and it would be added onto your taxes when you file for 2020. So I was like, oh no, that ain't, no way. You know, so I don't know, but it's something. I feel like there's going to be some loopholes thrown in on them 2000s. So we'll see how that goes, you guys. But yeah, the unemployment $300 a week extra has started. And people actually have seen the deposits go in along with the state, you know, whatever they were getting for unemployment from the state. All right. I think some people's unemployment had lapsed already. And if your unemployment had lapsed, then they said after a few weeks, then it would become reactivated, and that you would still get this extra $300 a week all the way up until like March 14th. Okay. I do know of some people who got unemployment, the $600 a week back in March of last year when, you know, when it first happened, people got all this money, and now the government is sending out letters saying they're not sure if you were going to be able to get this $300 a week, because now they're wondering if there was some fraudulent activity with your account from before. Okay, so people's accounts are getting held up because now the government is feeling like there was some fraudulent activity possibly, and now you can't get your $300 till they clear up the $600 thing. So my hope is that people out there that was getting the $600 a week, that it was really, you know, like a legitimate, for real claim. And, you know, people weren't out there just trying to fuck the system, because the system is coming back for you now. Okay. But like I said, yeah, the 300 is going out. So that is also providing some relief, you know, could possibly pay house note, car notes, you know, some bills, keep the lights on, keep food on the table, at least up until March 14th. Let's see, what else was it with that? The student loans will be, you don't have to pay until the end of January. They stopped the evictions. I think that's till the end of January as well. And, you know, there's some help for small businesses and other things as well. But the main things was the stimulus check and the unemployment. So that is all what's going on there, you guys. Let's do a little bit of a Rona check-in. All right, you guys, so Rona's still bad, and you know I talk to you guys about this every week, so let me just give you some numbers. As of January 6th, 255,728 people were infected in one day. Those were the you know, they were reported, and we had 3,964 deaths in one day. The numbers are extremely high, kind of like everywhere. You know, the eye is on California right now, but California has been high the whole time. But now it is to the point where California, remember when I told you that they were going to start turning away patients? Well, California is there now. They are not admitting some patients who don't have any hope to really survive it. They're turning away the super elderly who might be very, very sick, you know, whoever is far gone. Like, they're now having to choose who they want to help. And I would imagine that if you took an oath to help people when you work in that, you know, when you work as a medical profession, that has to be heartbreaking to have to actually not be able to service people because you're just overwhelmed. There's nowhere to help them. There's no way to help them. So California is in a bad way right now. I was trying to get to California to see my dad because I just haven't seen him, and I just really want to see him. I hadn't planned on staying there. I was just going to be there for a day. I was going to wear my mask and just kind of go to the house and stand across the room so I can see my dad. But I'm not even going to do that, you guys, because it's just too, I can't chance it. My dad is 83 years old. You know, I don't want to make him sick, and I don't want to make myself sick. So I'm not going to go, but it's just, it's bad in California. What I don't understand, though, is California is shut down, you know, and why are the numbers so high even when they're shut down? I mean, we're not really shut down in Georgia, you know, and the numbers are not as high. I just can't understand why California's numbers are super duper high when you guys are in the middle of like a shutdown. Like, you guys haven't really ever opened up back like that. I know some stores are open and things like that, but still, compared to like Georgia, California is shut down. Okay. So I can't really understand what's going on out there, but at any rate, it's very scary. And most of my family lives there, and most of Mr.'s, well, one side of Mr.'s family has a lot of people that live out there as well, and like all of our friends and everything. So it's too bad that California is going through that. But it's not just California. It's bad here in Georgia. It's bad in Arizona. It's bad in Colorado. It's bad, you know, it's like there's these spots where the numbers are spiking and going up, and child, we ain't even gonna discuss this variant coronavirus that's going around. They don't want to talk about it too much in the media because everybody is so fucking stressed out about the original coronavirus 19 that's going around. Now we got something else is supposed to be way like highly transmissible, and not really sure if the vaccine is going to work with this new variant. Yeah. And then we can't even talk about the fact that the vaccine, the rollout hasn't been as expected. It's been very slow. The people haven't been getting the vaccine like they said that they would. And to me, it just feels like you guys have like they have a list in order of the people that want to get this vaccine, or the people that are, you know, are able to get the vaccine. So it was medical professionals, you know, people that worked, you know, in close range with coronavirus patients, nursing homes, the elderly. Okay. And then it was going down from there, right? Well, to me, it's like, if the people don't want the vaccine, then it shouldn't get held up at that level. If a person in the medical profession said they're not going to take this, well, then we need to just go on and get the damn virus to the vaccination to the next person that wants it. And that way it won't get held up at this group, because I think the problem is right now is they've got these vaccinations. Either the people don't want it, or they, you know, they haven't been administered yet, and they're just sitting there. Okay. But there are other people that want the vaccination. They may not be medical doctors, but they may work, you know, as firefighters or as police officers, or as, you know, but I'm just saying, or, you know, work in a grocery store, or people that really have a lot of exchange with the public. Like, it should just continue to move down and get these vaccinations out to these people that really want it, and not getting held up. But, I think they're saying that it's picking up a little bit, but the vaccination rollout hasn't been half as smooth as they promised us that it would be. And now I'm wondering what's going to happen in 6 months when they say it'll be available to everybody, you know, come summertime, if that's even true. But yeah, y'all, coronavirus is just kind of a downer. It's just kind of a downer right now. It's just a scary thought that this is going to go on forever and ever. It just doesn't feel like it's going to end. You know, they were saying 2021 it would be back to normal. Now they're saying 2022. It's like the goal always gets pushed off, you know, and then 2022 y'all gonna be saying 2023, you know. So yeah, that's what's happening here, you guys. I just will continue to tell everybody to wash their hands and socially distance and wear your mask and be as safe as you can. Okay, but it's out there, and I don't even know how to tell you not to get it anymore. You know, other than saying just stay your ass in the house for real, don't go nowhere. Okay, I don't know how much people can do that, but that seems to really be the only way to keep you from getting it. Otherwise, the way that they're saying it is just everywhere and in everything. So anyway, all right, you guys, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Rox. The channel is for It's Rox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.